we need this to not happen
Yeah.
if this.
Yeah.
So, and we need this to happen.
There we go,
So,
everyone. That's the solution right there. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the channel. We have a special episode for you today. It's me, Nader, here as usual, but I have my friend Eli over here with me today. Eli, would you mind introducing yourself?
yeah. Wait, like, do you want me to say what I've been
Yeah,
like?
just a little bit about you, and then I'll ask you some questions about your coding journey and stuff in a second.
Okay, yeah. So I'm like 29 years old, so I'm kind of old. So yeah, I mean, initially I dropped out of high school, then I did construction for a few years, and then I decided to go back to go to college. I studied math, like up to second year math, or I did
Nice.
did most of second year, and then I dropped out to play poker, and I did that for a few years, like online, so like a lot of study groups, uh, solvers, simulation stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then now I'm studying programming, and
Nice.
Natter's been a good at recommending some paths for me to go down and stuff so
Yeah,
far. Yeah.
yeah, too kind. I love it. I love it. You see, this guy is he's getting old. You can see it. There's a gray hairs over there. 29,
Yeah, I do have a
grandpa.
couple.
Is
I do have some gray
a
hairs.
grandpa over here. Um, all right. So the purpose of this video is to just have some fun a little bit, switch it up, but also to get some practice with programming style of interviews, right? So eventually, Eli and others watching, you're going to have to go through this kind of thing yourself. The funny thing is, Eli, actually, you and I, we actually recorded this yesterday. And I don't know how to use computers and forgot to record your sound. So I only had my sound. So this is actually our second run through. But we're going to do a kind of mock interview, right? And we're going
But
to
new questions though, right?
totally new questions, right? So Eli has never seen these questions before. I want to make that clear. I wouldn't lie to you about that. This is on purpose so we can get the kind of the raw and unedited feeling here together, and also just to see how you think on your feet. So yeah, we're just gonna have fun with it, kind of see how it goes. I'm gonna try to pretty much have either no editing or minimal editing to this, just so that we can get the real sense of what the interview would be like. But the purpose of this is just to see someone else kind of going through it. I'm very proud of Eli for being comfortable doing this. It's a very nerve-wracking thing. So he's a confident guy to be able to do this, and it's building his confidence as well. But it's if any of you are interested in doing this as well in the future, and you love seeing how much Eli is getting made fun of on the stream here, definitely let me know, and we can probably do that as well. But the purpose really is to kind of we're going to start with I guess I'll mention the agenda just for you, Eli, as well as for the audience. I'm just going to kind of go through a little bit of introductions, and then some kind of not basic, but like a really high level technical questions just about JavaScript in general. And I just want to hear kind of how you think about them without coding, just kind of your understanding of the basic concepts. And then we're going to kind of go into a warm-up exercise together where I'll actually share my screen and you can have a chance to kind of pair program with me. I'll give you a bit more information on that. And then we'll go into a harder one and we'll see how you do on that one. Yeah, I guess we'll just get started to have some fun, and then we'll kind of do a recap at the end and kind of see how it goes and kind of what went well. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. So yeah, to start, so you told us a bit about yourself already a little bit, but kind of maybe talk to us a little bit about your learning journey, right? So coding is a very different kind of thing to get into, but you've been enjoying it, but also not enjoying it at the same time. So it's a lot of ups and downs, right? As with most things. So how's that process been for you? Like where did you start? Where did you go? Kind of like, did you take breaks along the way? How was that whole process?
Yeah, at the start I was really excited, and I still am excited actually about being able to do like really big projects and stuff like that. But yeah, along the way it's been really frustrating because I don't think I have the natural personality type for coding. I think that it would be really good if naturally I wanted to tinker with stuff and do kind of be excited about fixing like bugs or fixing problems rather than like annoyed by it. So I think that's one thing. And yeah, rather than being perfectionistic about, which is a really bad trait for, in my opinion, for this in a lot of ways, that trying to understand everything 100% before moving to the next thing, rather than just trying stuff out and being okay with it not working, kind of thing. That's something that I think is important.
Right.
Being willing to fail, being willing to try stuff and fail rather than trying to make sure you do everything perfectly.
That's really good. So you're getting better at that, you feel?
Well, I think it's my tendency is to not be good at that. But yeah, I mean, I'm working on it. Yeah.
Cool.
So a little bit. Yeah.
Is there anything that you're really, really enjoying out of the kind of just programming in general that's very different from what you've done before?
Yeah. Some of the concepts are super interesting, and it's kind of magical how like the internet works. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, or how things work. Not that I even know. It's kind of a mystery to me
Mm-hmm.
still. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
That's good. Hey.
probably shouldn't say that at an interview, but
No, it's fine. It's fine. Day by day, you'll get better, right? I guess that brings us to another good point. Like this, the purpose of this interview is Eli is not an expert by any means, right? And he's a beginner. He's starting. He's using this as practice, and he's still learning. And the goal is to use this as practice for a real interview, maybe a few months down the line, or however long it ends up being. So he's still kind of going through that some courses and practice, and he's pretty far along, but he still has a bit more left to learn before he'll probably be comfortable to do that.
I just want to say one thing also is that like the stuff I am learning right now is totally different than what Natter's going to be asking me about today, or
Mhm.
even the topics in general.
So,
So
so
I'm definitely more
just for
rusty.
fun, where are you right now? Like just so everyone knows what you're kind of been working on recently.
Yeah, I'm doing a course called Full Stack Open. It's a React.js, or so it's just for full stack
Mm-hmm.
development generally. And yeah, I'm just working on React right now, and
All right.
well, DevOps backend stuff. So I find that kind of annoying and hard. So I don't know, not really interesting to me, but yeah,
Well, yeah, it's also good to know what you don't enjoy, right? So that's good.
yeah,
So how do you feel about getting into a couple of questions here?
let's do it, man.
All right. So like I said, these are going to be conceptual to start, and then I'll let you know when we go to the real meat and potatoes per se of the coding questions. Okay.
Okay.
So let's go this one. What is an array in JavaScript, and what do you use an array for?
Yeah, an array is a way to, well, I'll start with the second one first. Well, sorry, the first, so an array is a way to organize data.
Mm-hmm.
You can put it in an indexed like basically oh my God, Natter. Jesus Christ. You know we're gonna have we're cutting this out.
No, we're leaving this in. We're leaving this in. This is the raw and unedited. It's gonna
Okay,
be
all
great.
right, all right.
It's gonna be great. The nervousness.
What
So
is an
just for
array?
everyone
All right.
listening, the nervousness. You gotta appreciate it, right? You're probably sitting there. Sorry to cut you off, Eli, but you're probably sitting there being like, "Oh my gosh, I can answer this question in the back of my hand." But it's different when you're in the hot seat, especially this seat right here that he's sitting in. It's different. The mind melts a little bit. So sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, Eli. Let's talk about
Okay.
arrays.
So because there's so many directions that one could answer such a question in,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it is kind of hard to organize your thoughts and decide on a direction to go in.
Absolutely.
So, okay, an array is something that, well, it's a bunch of elements.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be a bunch of elements at all. Actually, it's a way to organize data.
Yeah. Good.
Right?
Good.
That's what an array is.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other question?
What do you mainly use these arrays for? Like, what's the purpose of them? You said kind of is to organize data, but like, so like, what is that structure? You mentioned a word there before, index. What is that?
Yeah, so an array is defined such that each, however many elements, each element has an associated index with it, so that a user or a person that wants to manipulate the array or do something with the array can use its natural indexing
Mm-hmm.
index to select a element from the array or do
Right.
something with the array. Whatever they want to do. I mean, really.
Okay.
And yeah, programmers have luckily made a lot of methods so that we can do stuff with arrays.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do a lot of stuff with arrays. Yeah.
Cool. So here's kind of a follow up to that then. What or when, I guess, should I say, would we use an object in JavaScript instead of an array?
Yeah, we would use an object when we want to have keys associated with some values.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, if we want to be able to, instead of using indexes,
Mm-hmm.
to use some named value to search stuff.
Okay.
Because indexes are just kind of like arbitrarily, or they're just the same. They're just by like defaulted. So and they have no meaning.
Hmm.
So objects just put meanings to
Okay. So what
things.
would be like an example of like an index versus a named key that would be more valuable?
Yeah, so you could have like a nested object, like a person object, and then
Okay.
you can have um like a nested like hobbies of the person, and then you
Okay.
can have things like that. So it's like you can just organize
The data.
data
Okay. Yeah.
in an understandable human way, whereas an array is just you're gonna
Just
have
a bunch of
yeah,
numbers. Yeah.
yeah, numbers or something that doesn't mean anything.
Okay. Makes sense. I like it. So similarly, this is another tricky one, high level as well. So very open ended, and this is meant to really tease your brain and see how you think and narrow things down. So I asked you what an array is. So what is a function in JavaScript, and how would you describe it?
Okay. Well, function um well fun well the well I want to say the reason why we have functions in the first place.
Okay.
We have functions so that programmers don't have can reuse code
Mm-hmm.
so that you can make code so that it can be utilized anywhere you want,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that's really nice. So that's kind of so a function is kind of can be pretty much anything you want. Um, the main difference is that the main difference is you can just reuse it.
Okay.
So
Is there anything else that comes with functions that makes them particularly useful? Specifically, like if you think about how you might call a function or use a function, like what do we provide to functions? What do they give us back?
they give us back values,
Okay.
right? So you can return um, pretty much anything you want. Again, you can return a function.
Okay.
A function can return a function or can return
Yeah.
whatever you really want.
Getting fancy.
Yeah, I just don't know.
So I guess there's like the arguments and parameters, right? So we can provide an input and then we can maybe get some output. But generally speaking, we can reuse that code inside, given that input and output, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that
Yeah,
one could say, but
absolutely.
I don't know what would be valuable, really.
So let's build on that slightly. So what's the difference between a regular function and these new things in JavaScript called async functions?
Yeah. Okay. Regular functions, once they're called, the the return value comes out before before the compiler reads the next line of code after the function.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So it's like it's truly line by line. But
Okay.
whereas asynchronous, well, if it's async await,
Yep.
that's different because it will wait for the
I see.
body of code to
Good
be done
distinction.
once it's called.
Right.
But in general, if you don't have async await, then the code will be rendering is that the right word?
Running.
It'll be running in the background.
Yeah.
But whilst the compiler continues to read
Right.
the rest of the code.
Right. Right.
So you're gonna get like it's gonna mess up your
Yeah. So I guess there's like this concept of synchronous, which is kind of what you're describing with like the top down line by line kind of idea, and then asynchronous is like it can do other stuff while this other code is running over here, right?
Right. Async makes a promise.
Yeah.
And you have to wait some real amount of time.
Exactly.
Like some actual like not a trivial amount of time
Right.
in terms of code.
Right.
To wait for it to be done.
Good. So now I just want to end this set of functions. Wow, I'm talking about functions too much here. Set of questions. Thank you. With a really high level one, and I'd like you to. It's a hard question, but just think about it for a second. You don't have to respond right away, but I want you to really walk me through your process for this. Okay. So let's say I am coding and we're on a team together and I have an error in my code and it's JavaScript code. Okay. And I say, oh my gosh, I have an error. It's a syntax error, it's a type error, or it's some kind of error. Okay. And I say, Eli, I need your help. I know you're good at JavaScript, and I'm just struggling here. I just can't see it. I can't figure it out. I'm going to share my screen. Take a look with me. Please help me out. What's going to be the process? Like, how do you approach solving errors and debugging programs?
Okay, so we're assuming that that person doesn't, or that you in that case doesn't have any software running that's helping you find errors.
Correct. Yeah, just plain old JavaScript. Yeah. I'm just running the file to see if it works, and it's not working. I get an error.
Well, first of all, you'd read the error.
Okay.
Like, that's actually important. You have to actually read the error. What does it say?
Very good.
What lines is it pointing, line or lines is it pointing to?
Very good.
So you might have I won't talk about that actually. Yeah, so you might have that. You'll have that. And then if you don't already know what the error is, then you can you can copy paste it in Google,
right,
to get more information about what it is that you're even talking about, if you don't recognize what it is already.
Right.
And then first of all, you just read the line of code. Not first of all. After that, you'd read the line of code and see if you can understand why that's an issue. And then let's see. So after all that, it still doesn't work. Yeah. So for instance, if the line of code that has an error is inside a function, you would read line by line the whole function. That function.
Very good.
If that doesn't work, you'd see. Well, okay, you'd kind of go a step further out and say, okay, well, what are the things that are required to be the case,
right,
that need to be okay to make the function work properly? So you would look out of scope,
right,
and see if there's any problems like with that information transfer,
right,
that's going on.
Right.
And you would, instead of using you would actually isolate that function.
Yeah.
And run it in a separate, outside of the other body,
right,
to make sure that everything's okay inside the function.
Very good.
Right. So yeah, and then you kind of work it out like that, I would say.
That's really good. I really like that answer. That's a very methodical kind of approach to it. And you had many different suggestions, right? Like you had Google, and you had read the error, and you had, pull it out of here and try something else over here, right? It's perfect. I think that was really, really well answered. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And of course, it goes more and more and more. And there's more things you can do, but they get less and less useful as you go further out, because you do the most useful thing.
It's really important, right? Like, I think the way that you answer that also shows that you have some experience with these errors, right? Like, clearly you've done this before. You felt the pain. You've had some errors, exactly. So yeah, perfect. Cool. So I think we're good there. You feeling okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I feel okay.
Let's go to some. I'm going to pull up Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to share my screen with you. And I have 2 questions. We'll do one warm up, and then I'll have a more challenging question that's really meant. I don't even anticipate us fully solving it. Basically, I just want to see how far we can get and your thought process. Does that sound okay?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. So I'll share my screen here, and desktop share. There we go. Are you able to see my screen okay?
Yeah, let me make sure I have the pen that I can write stuff with in case.
Just gonna set up my our grid here real quick while you do that. All right, perfect. There we go. All right. Y'all good? Okay. I don't know if I need to be this big, but maybe I'll just do like this. There we go. So for the first one here, this is the warm up. So again, with these questions, I just really want to reiterate the kind of way that we're going to approach this is I'd like you to think that I'm on your team and I'm struggling with this code, and I reached out for help for some pair programming, and I want you to kind of walk through this with me, and we're going to do a little bit back and forth. If you get stuck, I'll try to help you a bit. And then it's mainly you driving this, and I'm kind of just coding it out, and you can tell me line numbers and draw on the screen, things like that. But just really enunciate as much as you can as you're going through this process, because the whole point is to see how Eli thinks about these problems.
Sure.
All right, so warm up. We want to write a function, and this function accepts one string as an argument. All right. This function should capitalize only every other letter in the string, and then it should return that string. Okay. There's a few nuances in here. So how do you want to start?
Okay, so let's well, first I want to come up with some cases, or first I want to clarify the question.
Okay.
Right, to make sure we understand like what exactly the question was.
I like it.
Okay, so the function should capitalize only every other letter in the string. Okay, so we have a string. Now, first of all, if there's no letters in the string.
Good question. So if there's no letters, so if we have an empty string, is what you're asking.
Yeah. Do we want to do nothing, or do we want to go through our?
Do
we want to go through our code and see that we have to do nothing after that?
We want to return an empty string if we give it an empty string.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't matter how we return it as long as it returns empty string.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay, let's see. So only every other letter in the string. So that's not every other character. That's every other letter.
Oh, good distinction. You know what? I'd like you to treat character and letter as the same thing for the purposes of this question. Very good.
Okay, so if there's like 10 spaces,
yes,
or like a space and a...
Yeah. So letter is the same thing as character. Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's see here. Function. I'm just making sure that I know exactly.
Absolutely.
That given that, because the edge cases might make the question confusing to answer.
100%. This is already quite confusing. There's a few more things that you can probably clarify here, but yeah, go for it. This is fantastic, by the way. You're doing great.
Nice. Okay, let's try to make some more. Let's try to make some edge cases actually, and then maybe that'll raise some questions.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. No, it's good. That's good.
Okay, so let's try to see.
Let's go with the really, really simple one. Let's just go with hello.
Yeah.
What are we going to get?
We should. Okay, this is good. So we should get smaller case h, upper E, right?
Smaller case h, upper E.
And then smaller L, large
like that,
L,
right?
Small O. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say I want the first one to start capitalized. That's what I want.
Okay.
So I'll clarify that. The first letter has to be so starting caps at letter like 0, letter 1.
Sure.
So this is going to change it slightly. So we're going to get H, E, L, L, and then O.
Yep.
Okay, good. Already. Perfect. What other things can you think of?
So we already did with the space. We already know. We can write that out, though, if you want.
Sure.
So 3 letter.
Let's just say, yo, Eli. So we will get...
So upper Y.
Yeah. O.
And then we're treating the character as upper. And then lower
E and then Li.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. What's another edge case? Special characters. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, sure. We'll say hello, like that. And this would give us back pretty much the same string as here, but just with the question marks, right? It's good.
Yeah. And the empty, yeah, we already did the empty one. I think that's... I'm trying to think of other things to clarify. I can't think of one right now. So, but maybe it'll come up when we code. So it's okay to, I think, to start.
I like it. I like that idea. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think it's okay to start. And if something comes up, then we can ask that. That's it. All right. So first of all, we need to write const. We need to make a function. So const. You can write an arrow function or function.
Sure. I'll go with arrow function. Why not? What do we want to call it?
Let's call it. A camel letters or something.
Camel letters, sure.
Like, I don't know.
Almost, like close enough, yeah.
Yeah, it's not really the best name. And then put string in there as the parameter.
Okay.
And now we know we're working with this. Okay. All right, let's see what we need to do here. So we need to say so we have a string, and strings have natural indexes associated with them.
Nice, good.
And we need to loop through, we need to consider every kind of element of the string. It's not really element. every character of the string.
Right. Perfect.
So we need to loop through a string.
Okay.
So we can just do a
through the string. Yeah.
Now I'm trying to think before saying what loop to do, what kind of method to use on this.
Okay.
I think because it's a string, I just use a for loop.
Okay. You want like a regular vanilla for loop? You want to use a for of loop? What kind of loop you want to use?
Let's just use a vanilla, like a regular for loop. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Vanilla is my favorite flavor too, so I'm happy that you chose this.
It's actually my favorite flavor as well.
I'll just create the loop here. So we have I as our index, and then what are we searching for? I is.
We need I is less than string dot length minus one.
Dot length -1 if I start at 0, or is it okay just to leave it at dot length?
-1. Wait, it's less than, so I guess no, -1.
Less than? Okay, -1. All right.
Maybe I'm wrong. I mean,
it's fine. Off by 1 is a 1, and we'll go up by 1 each time.
Sure. Okay. Okay, so what do we need to do? Now we have the ability to look at a character at a time in a string.
Perfect. Good. Yes.
So now all we need to do is ask if. Well, so we're doing it for. So we need to check. Okay, what has to be true in order for us to want to capitalize something? Now we want every other, but what does that mean? Well, it means it has to be divisible. Well, and it means it has to be either odd or even.
Okay. Like the index has to be odd or even.
The index has to be odd or even. And if we want the first index to be changed, it has to be, it's 0, and 0 is even.
Even, yeah.
So it has to be even.
Good. Yeah. So we want to change the even indices, right?
Yes. We want to capitalize whatever happens to be in the even.
Yeah. Perfect. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say we need a condition. We need to check if it's even or odd. So we need if string. If string at I.
Are we talking about the character here?
No, if I. Okay, so if I.
Okay.
Is modulus. If I modulus 2.
Yeah.
Is 0.
That means that we're even case, right?
That means we're even. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of.
No, that's good. That's fine. That's okay.
Right, okay. In this case, we need to capitalize whatever's here.
Okay.
Which is so that is 2. What it's 2 uppercase.
Yeah. So how do we get the letter using what you said, string at I, right?
Yeah, string at I to uppercase.
Dot to uppercase. So that's gonna give it to us as uppercase.
Absolutely. And then otherwise we can just, and this is fine for this if part of the if block so far. I can come back to this if.
Sure. No, it's good. I like it.
And then I just want to say otherwise, which is below that.
Here, else, or do we need an else?
Else. No, we don't need an else for this.
Okay.
No, I kind of forget actually if uppercase, what uppercase returns.
So it returns the letter uppercase, and it ignores numbers, and it ignores special characters.
Right, but is it mutating the original string, or is it making a new string?
No, it makes a new string. Yeah, strings are immutable. In general, strings are immutable, so we can never mutate the string.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna have a problem because now we're gonna have just a string with just.
Yeah.
So we can just say string at I to lowercase below this if block.
Okay, so string at I dot to lowercase.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's not even, then we're gonna lowercase whatever's there, and
if it's
already.
If it's already low, yeah.
Okay, so this just figured out an edge case.
Okay, which is
the case that we have a capital letter in an odd indice, so we can put in the examples.
Oh, nice, good, very good. So we're saying like if we have like even just all caps, hello.
Yeah, even all caps.
Yeah. So what do we want to change this, right? Yeah, I want to change it.
We want that to be hello.
Like that.
No,
right?
Do we not want it to be all uppercase?
In this case, we want it to only every other letter should be uppercased.
Oh, okay. So this code here that we just wrote would actually be working for that.
In
my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah. for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if the okay. Yeah, in this case, this would work, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you want to return
we
anything
have
from
to
here,
return-
or?
Yeah, we need to return. Now the problem is because this makes a new string,
Yeah.
we have to call it something.
Yeah. So
So-
should we? What do you want to do? Up here
And then we
or
won't be
in
done
the
yet.
loop?
No, above the loop.
Okay.
Let's say
Maybe a mutating variable, let.
yeah, let. But then we can't mutate strings.
We can. It just creates a new string in its place.
Okay. Right, of course. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's all right. It's tricky.
Let
Maybe we'll give this like a.
let answer, I guess.
Yeah, answer. Okay.
No, we can't. Let's put it as let
like maybe like caps string.
Yeah, let
camel
cap
string, since you're going with the camel scenario. Even though it's not really camel, but close enough.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Let camel string equals empty string.
Empty string. Okay, good. So we're starting a fresh slate.
Yeah, or you could just have it. You can just initialize it without any equals. And then let's say camel string, and then in the if you put camel string equals camel string plus that string.
Can I just do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus equals, yes.
Okay. And I can maybe, you want me to do this, I'm assuming, for this one too down here?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. And I actually really don't like this solution. I would rather just use reduce and make a string instead of
That's all right. I mean, we're almost at the end of this one.
okay.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's pretty close anyway. It's good.
Okay. That's fine. And I think that would probably work. I know we have to return
Right.
camel string.
Return camel
below
string.
that, yeah.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right. Return camel string. Sorry.
Yeah.
There we go.
And this should work, yeah.
All right, so let's try this out. So we'll do a console.log, and then we'll call camel letters, and then we'll give it, let's try our test strings here. So I'm gonna try it with this one. I'm gonna duplicate this a couple times. I'll try it with our yo Eli, and bear with me here while I do this. I'll do it with our hello with our special characters, make sure that works. And then I'll do it with our all caps hello and make sure that works.
Sure.
Perfect. You okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. So let's run a node question1, and ooh, interesting.
Okay.
All right.
So the first one, so obviously there's issues here. So what's happening? The problem we're getting, there's no error, but there's a bug.
There's a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in hello, we're getting an extra H. So let's look at that first, right? We get our first capital H.
Yeah.
But then it's adding an extra.
It's adding another
case.
H. Yeah. So why is that happening? So we come in here, we have H, or we have our hello. We start this loop.
Mm-hmm. So what's happening, I think, is we're adding so on the so let's say the second iteration of this loop, it's going into the camel string oh man. Hold on, I gotta like relax here for a second.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, you're really close, by the way. This is just once you see the solution, you're gonna be like, of course it was that.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe if you walk through this.
Individual case though.
Are we?
Well, multiple times.
Let's walk through this with hello. So we come in here with hello. So what is this line doing?
That line is initializing a string.
Yeah, okay. And we are looping from what to what in the case of hello specifically?
Oh, from 0, which is the first index, to the okay, string.length is the amount of things starting at 1. Okay, so we have the wrong.
Yeah, so we can get rid of probably this one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now
so
let's test it again.
Because you're starting at 0, or we're starting at 0, so that's fine. So that fixes the O, but we still have the double going on, so we're close.
Mhm. Okay. So now that's correct. Okay, so if I modulus 2, we're saying take that string that started at nothing, or an empty string,
Yep.
and add it to string I, well, whatever the string is, string I to uppercase.
Yeah. So we get capital H, right?
Yeah, capital H.
So this is
That's
H. Good. And then we put
and
it
then we
here.
exit
So
out of that if.
we exit out of the F, and then what?
Now our camel string is H.
Okay.
And our next one comes down to the other part of the if statement.
Right here.
Yep. Or other part of the for loop. So that's H plus string at I, which now should be 1.
Is it? Have we changed I yet?
Well, I wanted that to. Wait. I guess we haven't changed I. Yeah,
So
that's the issue. We need it to be okay. Yeah, that's the issue.
So we're adding the H, and then we're always adding the same letter back again.
Right. So we need just an else there.
Right. Good. Very good. Else.
Yeah.
Yes. Very nice.
I'm used to writing it in such a way that that I don't need else.
It's all right. Yeah. This is a case where else is definitely useful. There you go. Look at that.
Okay. Cool.
Very nice.
feels bad, man.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. So I guess just to recap that, that was really great. Honestly, I know people watching are probably just like, oh my god, the error is right there. It's right there. Don't you see it? Or you would do it with reduce, or you do it with whatever. But that's not the point, right? The point is exactly what you did, right? You had a process to solve this problem, right? You read the question, you clarified the question to me, you asked me questions about the question. All these clarifying questions. You acknowledge that maybe there's ones you didn't ask, which was fantastic. And you said, there could be things we could discover as we go through this process, but let's just keep going forward. You came up with examples, and these are specifically, especially edge cases, but even simple examples. Fantastic, really well done, right? And then you kind of went through creating the function step by step, line by line, and then we had some tests, right? And as we had errors, so we didn't have errors per se, but bugs in our code. You kind of revisited it and you asked, why could this happen? Step line by line. What is this doing? What is that doing? And I think that was really well done, honestly. And you can see, right, even for such a quote unquote simple question, there's a lot of nuance to it, right? And
also, I have to say, it is a lot harder when you don't have a chance to actually where's my writing thing?
Your annotation?
Like normally, yeah, hold on. Yeah, normally I would click here and see the block. Right?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And I would be able to see all these, I would click here, this would be part of my understanding of what's going on.
Right.
But when I don't have the ability to do that, it's I feel kind of
it's like
I'm
hamstrung
on skates or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. And the interviews always they don't always go this way, right? Sometimes you're in a Google Doc, or you're in some other editor, or maybe they're watching you code, right? But I think if you can do it this way, you can do it anyway. So good job.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot harder than the other than being able to click on stuff.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, how are you feeling? You feeling okay?
I feel okay. I mean, that was not great, but
okay. So this next question, our final question for this one. You're doing good time-wise, by the way. That's really good. It's really good. I don't anticipate us actually solving it. If we do solve it, fantastic. The point is not really even to solve it. It's a hard enough question. I shouldn't say hard, but a challenging enough question that even just thinking about the things that you just went through with me is going to be a process and an adventure in itself. All right. So I don't want to freak you out at all, but just I want to encourage you actually, right? And those watching as well. If you're just there's no way I could solve this problem in 20 or 30 minutes, it's just not possible. It's not always about that, right? It's about the process and kind of what you just went through with me just now. So if we get halfway through it, if we only get 25% through it, doesn't matter, right? Let's see how far we can go and just take it as it comes.
Sure.
Okay, so here we go. We want to also, again, write a function here. And this function is going to accept a string as well, just like our previous one. This string is going to be an HTML string. Okay, so if you haven't done HTML, don't really worry. I'll kind of go over the basics of it. But for our purposes, we can think of this string as having a bunch of HTML in it. So all the tags, different types of tags. But specifically, the div tags, so the div tags, the dividers, they are every single one of them in this HTML string. Every single div tag is missing its closing tag. But it's not missing the entire closing tag. It's just missing the like this part of the closing tag, the div, this part, right? Right. So okay, I always mix up my slashes here. So it has both div tags, but the second one is missing the slash. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so both div tags are there. So there are two div tags correctly in the correct spaces, but the second one is missing the closing slash in it. So it has
just a slash.
Just a slash. It has angle bracket, nothing, div, and then closing bracket. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll think of some examples so this makes more sense together shortly, but just keep that at the back of your mind. The purpose of this function is to find and close only all of the divs in the string and then return the corrected version of that string. So we can assume the other tags are closed correctly. Only the div tags are not closed. So, Natter over here programmed this string, HTML string. He doesn't know HTML very well, and he doesn't think divs need to be closed, so he didn't bother closing them, but he structured them correctly. So, no closing tags for divs. Other tags have closing tags. We don't have to worry about them necessarily. Our job is just to close the div tags.
Okay.
Okay. So, how do you feel about that? You feel okay?
I feel okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess well, first of all, I want to clarify something.
Mm-hmm.
If someone was writing HTML inside a p tag,
Mm-hmm.
like a paragraph tag, like a string,
Okay.
and they write about div tags in that p tag.
They write div tags in here, you mean?
Yeah, and they're just simply writing about, like, say they're trying to teach someone HTML.
Oh, like
and they're
here
writing
is
about
a
div tags.
div. Oh, I see. Wow, look at that. Look at this guy. He's good. Everyone, look at this.
So,
Eli is good with his edge cases. That's a really smart edge case.
Well, that's an edge case. Yeah, that's an edge
for
case.
Sure. Here is a div tag, right?
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic.
We're not going to cover that, right?
Well, we are actually, but we're going to cover it simply.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is we can assume that we need to close every other one.
Oh my goodness. See how I avoided yeah. So okay.
So
okay.
We're not going to try to get smart with trying to decipher, inside of this p tag there's only one div, so probably they don't mean that, right? We're just going to assume that if there was for example, if there was a div out here, we're going to assume that they wanted to close this one.
Okay, I see what you mean. So we might end up in the case that, like, we have the front tags having this, which is okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's taking forever to control Z that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was my first question. All right,
good,
let's see here.
Good. Very good.
So we're going to be working with a string, and we want to make.
This is going to come in like this.
Right. So this is an example of one of the problems we'd be dealing with. Yeah. And we want to actually I would like to make a new string.
Okay.
Personally. And whenever I work with something like where I'm trying to build something out, like to build a new array or to build a new object, I like to work with reduce. I find it really easy personally to do that. So I think I just want to take a note in my head. Well, I might be using reduce for this. It might come in handy. So I want to take note of that. Okay. Now let's see. Let me read the question again and see if I miss anything about or need to ask clarifying questions about the question. String is supposed to be HTML. All the divs, elements are missing their closing. Okay, I think I understand that pretty well. And the function's job is to find and close all the divs in the provided HTML string. I think the question is very clear. So, okay. So let's come up with more cases then, because I think,
Yeah, let's do it.
is there anything you'd like to clarify about the question?
I think you had a really good starting point, which is like what about like deciphering the semantics of the HTML? Like, do we want to do this kind of funny business? And we're just gonna keep it simple, right? You
Right.
see a div in brackets. If it's the second one, you close it. If it's the first one, you don't close it.
Okay. Now I want to kind of lay out the instructions for myself so that I know what edge cases to look for. So we need every second, what is it? Every second div
Every
tag.
second
So
div needs to be closed. Yeah.
and the div is just, we're looking for the specifically that without the bracket in it, as that's a div that we're going to be trying to detect.
Which one? Sorry.
The first part of that would be one div tag, like the div tag.
This one right here.
Oh, sorry, this.
Oh yeah. So if we see this, that is this is a div tag. So then we are asking, yes, is this the first or the second one that we've been seeing? But if
Right.
we just saw this, for example, that's not a div tag.
I can't control Z. Okay. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And
So if
like,
we saw that, we don't want to
if
be.
we saw this is not a div tag.
So we need to first understand that we're actually looking at a div tag,
Correct.
so that we can then keep track of what iteration of div tags we're on. Okay. Okay, so now let's come up with some edge cases. Or I can come up with some. Let's see. It's hard to come up with edge cases for this because it's tough to imagine a case that would have any problems in the general solve.
True.
And what general solves would look like.
Very true. Yeah. I guess here's an edge case for you. So what if we have this? What if we have this string? What do we do?
Sorry, it's every second one you said? Yeah. So in that case, we just want the middle div to have a, what is that, a backslash? Or it's a
Forward
backslash?
slash. Yeah.
Oh, it's a forward slash. Right, it's going forward. Yeah, we just want this.
This, like that?
Like this, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like that.
That's good.
Is that an edge case though? I guess it's just a case.
It's I guess so, because technically this is invalid in theory. So maybe we could decide to just add the closing one at the end if we want to be really nice and really complete the HTML correctly. We could just be like, oh, are we missing one at the end, kind of thing. But let's keep it simple. Just every other one.
Okay, I think we have two cases. I mean, we can write another just general case if we wanted to, but I don't know. Maybe we just leave it here for now, to be honest.
Sure.
Unless you have any.
Yeah, let's just create one more for fun. So we'll say that we have a div, we have another div, and then we have a p tag, and then we have hello. Right. So what would this give us?
So the second one, this one would be this. Yeah, there'd be a closing tag here. Sorry, not there. I can't control Z that easily.
That's okay.
Okay, here and here.
Correct, exactly. So probably not the most logical series of divs in this case, right? If we do it this way, probably not what they intended. Right. However, for the purposes of this question, I think this is the correct answer. Because you could just as well have said, oh, well, maybe they want to nest these two divs, and then I'm going to look forward, and I'm going to close them like this.
Yeah. They could have asked that.
Yes. So
okay. So let's go. I think let's start trying to write some code now.
Okay.
I don't think pseudocode makes sense for this, other than just saying every second div. There's not much to say, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a stab at it. So what do you want to call it?
Yeah, let's call it div second div. Let's call it second div.
Second div.
Or closed second.
Close. Div. Yeah. Close. There you go. Close second divs. Divs plural. right? Why not?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Make it specific.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is going to take a string like before.
Takes a string.
And then we go into our function.
Yeah.
I'll just scroll down. Give
So
us some
I just kind of
space
want
here.
to. I just kind of want to play with reduce right away
All right.
and see what we can start with, and then work from there. Because I think you can make a lot of progress that way.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's go with So first of all, we need to remember if we can use reduce on a string, which I think we can. I don't know.
Okay.
I think we can.
Can
I mean, maybe we can.
Maybe we can't. Let's do
it. It's been a while.
It's okay.
Let's make sure of that. Otherwise, I can make it into an array, or we can do something else with it, right?
Yeah.
So
you want to do string dot reduce, right? Yeah. And you're gonna. What do you want to call these parameters?
Let's go with ac and char.
Char. Good. Do you want the index or no?
Wait. Yeah.
Okay.
Index. And let's put it at starting at it. Let's build a string.
Build a string.
So empty string. Good. No, first of all, does this give us an error right away? I mean,
let's run it. So we're gonna run a node q2, and no.
Okay.
Oh, actually, hold on. I haven't called it. Sorry.
Oh, we haven't called it.
I was surprised. I was expecting to see an error because this is going to give us an error.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
you're like, no.
Yeah. This doesn't make sense. There you go. We get an error, right?
Okay.
We can't reduce because it's not.
It's not an array.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let me think of a different method. So I would, yeah.
So
okay.
if you really want to use reduce, I can help you out. I can turn this into.
We can make it into
really quick for you.
Into an array.
Into an array. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Let's just do that.
Okay,
Otherwise, I can think of.
I'll just say array from, and then there we go. Now we can do that.
Right. And if I didn't know how to do that, I would just search Google how to turn a string into an array, and it would show this.
Absolutely.
So it'd be super easy to do this.
Yes.
Okay. So now we have an array of characters, which is great. And we want to check. So this will run through the array of characters, but we need to know that an extension of characters equals reduce first. We need to have a way to find equals div first. We need to find a way to find div.
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
So now we can do a series of 3 ifs for that, meaning like if we find this, then continue, and if we find a d, it wouldn't be 3, it would be it would be 5, right?
Okay. Yeah, 5 characters in a row.
So it would be to keep continuing with each if. But
I mean, I think you're on the right track there. So that's basically saying like if we see a opening angle bracket, right, then effectively you want to like loop 5 times to check the next 5 characters.
Yeah, exactly. And you would keep going down. To me, that's kind of like, it's kind of complicated. I would want to almost say like is this string in this? Oh man, is this array? See, now that it's an array, it kind of wouldn't work because we could have kept it as a string and said is div inside the string, like that would just fine.
I guess we could have, but then we'd have to tell it maybe because we don't want to search the whole string for a div. We just want to search a subsection, the next 5 characters specifically, right? Yeah,
so that wouldn't be really good. That wouldn't really be good. Okay, so how are we gonna with an array? How do we get?
I mean, it doesn't have to be array. You can go back to a string if you want, whatever you like.
We can. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. I think it would be easier to work with a string, but I'm just trying to figure out like if there's anything we can do with this first. I mean, there is a solution, like we said, for this, but it would just be like a ridiculous amount of code to find this. What do you think? Should we try that method or go back to using strings?
Let's try this. So let's say let's say if the character we're looking at right now, right, is equal to the opening bracket, then what do we know we need to do?
We need to ask if the next character is equal to a d.
Yes. So specifically, how many times do we need to do that? How
That
many
would
more
be
times do we need to do that?
4 more times.
4 more times. So what if
Yep.
we just looped that many more times in this if statement?
Oh, I see. Okay, so if we find that, we need to say, okay, for so we're gonna have we're working with this array.
Yeah.
So what do we even call it? We didn't call it anything.
The actual array itself.
Oh, we can use the string, I guess, actually.
We also, this parameter is the actual array itself if you want that. I don't know if you've seen that one before.
I have. Okay, then put array. This is very rare that you have to use this.
Yes, very rare.
Probably means we're on the wrong track.
I think it's okay. This is a discovery, so.
Sure. All right, let's say for array at is it at I? I don't know.
So array at. So I guess let's do this. What if we just create
char
at I?
Not a char. At I.
Yeah. Is what?
At I plus 1.
Oh, we're asking.
Because I is yeah.
We're asking another. Well, you don't want to do an if statement, you mean?
Well, I thought you wanted to loop after we see the triangle.
Yeah. So how many? Yeah, I guess. So I should probably clarify. How many times do we need to loop? You said 4 times, right?
Yeah, after we find the first character.
We'll say let I equal 0 and I is less than 4 and I plus plus. So that's 4 loops right there for us.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
I guess we probably shouldn't do I here because we already have I out here. So I'll just call. I'll call this one. Let's do J. Let's do J. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we want to do in here?
Oh, you need to change the second I to J.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. We need to. We need to see if. See, you recommended a loop.
But you don't like this loop. We can throw out the loop. I don't mind. It's just one way to keep it within the reduce.
Well, I'm trying to see like. Okay, so. Okay. Well, if we wrote, let's just see what happens. If we write if char at if array at I plus 1.
I guess we have J. I mean, we can probably do.
No, J wouldn't work because J is not dependent on like say the string is 100 characters, J can only go up to 4.
So we'll say I plus J.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's exactly it. Well, that would be okay. Okay, array at I is if array. We need if before there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
if array at I plus J is, this is getting really confusing.
Yeah.
Is D equals. Yep. D. Then we need to say if again. Oh,
I see what you're saying. I see. So you want to basically do this for each one of them, which is why it's
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I think it's a terrible. Yeah. I think it would be a terrible solution.
What if we say const like let's say div check string or something, or div check is so the rest of the string we want to check is div this.
Yeah, I see a solution here. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So we know that we're looking at this. And we want to look at the rest of this. And now this string has indices. So what can we do instead of hard coding this D here?
Well, I was thinking about making like an array like this. And just checking to see if basically this would be equals to this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, that can be done as well. Yeah. I think it's the same idea that you had, right?
Pretty similar, yeah, pretty much the same thing. So which one do you want to do? Let's go with your method because
because we already have an array, I think.
Yeah, So how to code that out?
Okay. We need to just check if the elements are the same. Okay, so let's make an element. Let's make this. Let's change this to an array.
Okay, so I'll just do
div
array dot from.
Sure. Okay. And let's say, We're still checking individual elements. Oh my god.
We can throw this all out and redo this if you like, because now that you've kind of gone
Because
through
we can't
this,
say, yeah, we can't say are they equal because they're different. It's gonna. Can we say two equal signs? Would that? Would that
what would you
be?
want to what kind of question would you want to ask there?
Well, I would be trying to ask if the arrays are equal in terms of what's inside their what the elements are, not in terms of like their space and memory, which is like equals equals equals, right? If
Oh,
they're
like
exactly.
if the strings are basically equal to each other.
Yeah, like that's why I think the string is better. Like when you, yeah, exactly. So I mean,
I see.
but would that work though if it's just two equals?
It would actually yeah, it would work.
It would work, right?
It would work. Yeah.
So we could just say,
Even
okay,
three
so
equals would work because the strings are immutable.
no, if we had an array though.
Oh, if we had an array, it wouldn't work. Yeah. Double
Yeah.
equals would also not work, I think. I actually don't know. I have to double check that. I actually don't know the answer. But that's pretty hacky. I'd prefer us not to do that.
Yeah, that's like an exploit of the equals sign. Okay, let's just use the string then and say, does the string at those indexes of the original string match that string? So I know there's a function for that. There's a method for that, but
so so what would you want to do here? You want to do just change this whole thing?
Yeah. Just let's just redo it.
Okay, I'll you know what? I'll comment that out for now and I'll just come down here. So I'll say what do I want to do?
Okay, let's do. So we just want to check.
This is okay, by the way. Like this is meant to be a very challenging question. I mentioned that up front, right? So I anticipated that there'd be a lot of exploratory stuff going on with this. So don't worry if you're like, oh, how am I not getting this? Okay, so I expected all this.
Yeah, and it is a lot harder when I can't just right away test all the ideas that I have. Like it's just
absolutely. Yeah. So just keep at it.
Okay. All right. So we had some decent progress, right? We saw this.
Mm-hmm.
That'll tell us to check the rest, the next 4 indexes.
Correct.
Okay. So let's do that again. Let's see. Let's just loop through the string with a for loop.
Okay, so we'll say for let I equal 0. I. Are you okay with I?
Yeah, and just this is gonna be the same as
All right, cool. There we go.
And let's say, if this line again, if char is this.
If char. So
not char. Sorry, not char. If string at I.
Is equal to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay,
now we need to see if the rest of the string after that is equal to div, which is equal to this. So we need to add. This is the tough part, right?
Yeah.
This is where we need to figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. I know there's a ton of ways to do this. How do we get that string in front of us? Whatever the next 4 are. Let's build a string.
Okay.
Let's build a string. All right.
Okay.
Let's start before the loop.
Okay.
Before the loop, let's say let unknown.
Okay.
Let unknown 4 like 4 FOUR.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Unknown 4 equal empty string.
Okay.
You know what? Let's start it equals to the starting div tag.
Starting div tag.
Like not the div tag. Sorry, the less than.
Oh, just less than.
No, just less than. Yeah.
Right.
Because that's going to be then we're going to have the div, which might be useful.
Right.
The full div. Well, maybe not.
Okay.
All right. Okay. No, but that's going to be bad because we're going to be comparing it against only 4. So never mind. Okay.
So just empty
already string? Making and fixing bugs already.
It's good.
Now let's make this string out. Let's make the string here. So now we have, let's simply add, let's just add up whatever is there. Okay. We don't need to check anything.
Great.
Let's add up.
So we're going to do it 4 times, you said,
unknown
right?
4. Yep. Oh, let's loop through this now. Next for thing with
J
J.
equals 0, J is less than 4, right? J plus plus. That's what you want to do? Four loops? Is that what you meant?
Yes.
Okay. And what do we want to do in here?
And we want to say
Unknown 4, yeah.
plus equals.
Yeah.
String at I plus J.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, now we have a string
Of yeah, that stuff in it.
well, that we might have a string.
Yeah,
if there was a div.
after the tag.
After this, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Which is perfect. Now we can compare the strings, which is what we tried to do in the first place.
Okay.
So are they equal or not? That's the question. And then, so that would be unknown is, now we need to ask after this loop is done,
Mm-hmm.
completed, is unknown 4.
Still in this if statement though here?
Inside
Okay.
this for loop. No, not inside that. So inside here, I believe. Wait,
Here?
that's in there? Okay, never mind.
So we have this
In
for
here.
loop, yeah, and the if statement is here, and then the for loop is in the if statement.
Wait, can you just click on this again? Okay, yeah. So put it here.
Out here?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want me to do?
Wait. Yeah, exactly, right here. Let's ask if unknown 4
Mm-hmm.
equals.
Yep.
So we're asking if the string we made is equal to div.
This,
well,
right?
without that, yeah.
The rest of the div. Yeah, okay.
The rest of div.
And if it is?
And if it is,
yeah,
we need to say, we haven't yet come up with something to keep track of what
True.
number we're on, right? So, we could write the simpler version of the code first, which is just to change all the div tags to that. That would be maybe making it more difficult. I don't know.
Okay.
We'd have to rewrite the code later. I think it would be easier just to keep track.
Okay.
Of how many times we've seen div.
Total. Okay. Yeah. I like it.
Okay. So how do we do that? Now you're supposed to, in my opinion, it's supposed to be that you're using some sort of object for this to look at the number of the object or like this true, false, it switches back and forth, right? Like you can do that.
Okay.
Is my object true or is it false or whatever, right? Like
sure.
Div tracker, thing. Should we do that?
Let's just keep track of maybe the number. Simpler. Yeah, just keep track of the number. It's fine. Let's keep it simpler.
Okay, let's make a counter.
Okay. Like div counter.
Because that's actually really complicated. That true, false, switching thing, depending on. Yeah.
But so we've seen 0 so far. I can see where that object can be useful, probably for optimization and stuff too later. But let's keep it simple.
Okay, div counter equals 0.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we find one, when do we know that we found one? Well, we found one here, right?
Yes,
so we
correct.
need to plus 1 here.
So we'll say div counter plus.
Yeah. Okay, now, so we're inside this for loop still. We've plus 1 to the div counter. Mm-hmm. And we need to then say below this here. We need to say, because now we know what to do with it, because we can look at div count.
Mm-hmm.
We can say if.
Mm-hmm.
Let's write if.
Right below here?
Right below here. Wait. Yeah, if this is true,
mm-hmm.
plus 1, and do something here.
Okay, so if.
Okay, so if div counter
mm-hmm.
is modulus, let's say we don't know even our div, we'll figure that out in a second. Modulus 2,
mm-hmm.
let's say is, let's take the case that we're going to change it. So what do we need? We're changing it on 1.
Every other
3.
one. Yeah. So yeah.
So modulus 2 is 1.
Okay.
The remainder of 1
mm-hmm.
divided by 2. So if this, now we need to do something. Mm-hmm. We need to change something. Yes. We need to add something. We need to add the /.
Yes.
To
correct.
what? We need to add it to what?
Precisely. To what?
To the original string.
Correct.
Yes. So we need to. So what index is the thing we're on, right?
Precisely.
So We're on I.
Yes, we're on I.
We're on I, but we
Mhm.
need it in between I and I plus 1.
So I'll
Add.
interject slightly here. I'll say that we
Yep.
can't manipulate a string.
That's
Remember,
the problem I was
so
also.
that's yeah.
Yeah. So we need to make a new string.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we need to. Well, I know that. Look, I know there's a ton of methods for like duplicating stuff or like
Let's
making a
just
copy of
I'll
something,
keep it
but
simple for us. Let's just say let fixed HTML, which is the result, is going to start as empty.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we need to
So we can
build.
keep
We're
changing
going to
that.
build it up. Yeah. Yeah. We
Oh, you want to build it?
want to build it up as we're going along because we're going through this string one character at a time, right?
Oh, okay. So you want to add. Okay, yeah, I see what you're trying to do. So you want to add every single character every single
Sure.
time
Why
I
not? Why
changes.
not?
So we need to make sure to add something before I changes.
Yes, correct.
Right.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely. Yep.
I'm just stating what's obvious. Okay.
That's good. Clarifying.
So where do we want to add? We want to add at the point that we're ready to add, which
Yeah,
is after we figure out what we're dealing with.
exactly. Right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right,
we
right here.
want to take that fixed string.
Yep. And then we're gonna add.
Yeah.
We're gonna add I. Wait a second. We need to add. Yeah, we need to add I.
Okay.
Well, not I. I is the index. We need
Yeah.
to add the string at I. Sorry.
String at I. Okay.
Yeah, and we need to add um string at I, and we need to add the dash now, or the forward slash.
Like
Sorry.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And else.
Yep.
So else.
Yeah.
We're gonna add string at I.
I love it. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's good.
So now we're building the entire string, and just in the case where we went through this other loop, and we finally found that we're dealing with the thing that we need to add this at, we can skip it, everything else, and just always add this otherwise.
Yeah, it's good.
This is only going to happen a very small amount of the time. Yeah.
Yes. Good. And at the very end, I think we should probably also just return our string, right? Return our fixed.
Return the string.
Yeah.
That's going to be if you clicked on this after that.
Yeah. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Right there. Yeah.
Now, let's test it out. So I'm gonna have a few of these cases here. Let's try these out. So,
by the way, we don't. I don't know if Natter does. I don't expect this to work one bit at all. Like, summing this many lines of code would be an error like 100% of the time.
Yes. What's also important though is I before I even run this, I just want to mention. First of all, I actually don't know if this is gonna work. I can't keep track of this much stuff in my head, either myself.
Yep.
I get the logic, and the logic is sound.
Yeah, the logic makes sense.
Also, usually in an interview, depending on if you're doing it remotely or in person, you might be doing this physically on a whiteboard. So it might be literally impossible to check your solution, right? You have to literally walk through it line by line in person together, and try the different cases. Okay. So that might be.
So you're saying like if it makes sense to the interviewer.
Yeah, but usually you want to kind of walk through it. They'll give you some edge cases and they'll pump it through and ask you to walk through it line by line, kind of. So you're kind of the executor of the code. You're Node.js in that case. But sometimes they'll have test cases, or if it's Google Doc, for example, they won't run the code in the Google Doc if you're kind of collaborating on a Google Doc virtually. So generally speaking, they don't always run it. They really want to just see the process and kind of the solution that you come up with. So it's not always really about getting the answer. But since we have an editor up, we might as well just kind of run this here. So let's see what we get here. So I'll take this one here. And I do want to add as well, while I'm kind of coding this out here, that I love the fact that you didn't want to just keep running the code for an answer. I see that a lot when people first start this. They just want to keep testing their code, which is great when you're prototyping something. When you're personally building a project in your own time and you want to test it, or you're working on your own ticket or something and you're testing it, that's fine. But generally, you want to make sure that your logic makes sense instead of spamming to build something and just seeing kind of what pops out. The process that you have of actually like, okay, this is happening and this is happening, and actually noticing bugs before we're even running the code. I love that. That was really, really well done.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, so let's get this last one in here. I actually have no idea if this is going to work or not, but
And I just want to be clear for the audience. I'm under no delusion that Natter didn't help a lot with this, and we're probably gonna get an error out, right? As I'm saying, anyways. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I understand that. So
node2.js. Oh, I forgot to log this out. Sorry about that. So I'll do this right here. I'll just do this. Console log. Ooh, sorry about that. I'm just trying to get this a bit faster. My computer's lagging a little bit because of the stream, but it's okay. All right, hopefully that works. Save the file, and we get nothing out. Let's try to make sure.
Did we not return anything?
I think we returned something right here. Return the fixed HTML. So we're returning an empty strings. It looks like.
So that means it never goes into the block where it's adding something.
Yeah.
So it never reaches the if unknown for line 41. It never goes into those into that.
I guess do we even reach in here? Let's see. So if string at I is equal to that, which should be the very first character.
Can we console log string at I in between line 34 and 35?
Yeah, sure. This is a good place to actually start debugging this way. I like it. Yep. So yeah, it seems like we're getting some stuff. Yeah, div right there.
Okay, so we if string I, so we enter into 37 and 38. Let's see. Unknown 4 plus string at I plus j. Can we console log unknown 4 on line 37 to 38?
Yep.
Because this should work logically so far.
Okay, interesting. So
that works. When does it work?
So this is for this one right here. Maybe if I log it after the loop, that might be helpful, so that we can actually see instead of just being built up. Yeah, see what it actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Is that what we want though? Actually.
Is that what we want?
Because I feel like we want.
Oh, I see. So there is a bug here.
Yeah, we want. We want the last 4 first of all, not the first 4. And we don't want that many.
Like yes. So we forget to what? We forget to
start at 1.
Also.
And to go to 5.
I guess so.
And then we would not have to put I. No, we still need I plus j.
So we want to go to 5. You said 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3.
No, 1 to 5.
1 to 5.
But then we would be getting indexing too deep.
1 to 4?
Wait a second. No, look, if it starts at 0 and it's I plus 0, it's just, we're just getting string at I, which is not what we want. So we do want to start at 1. And then we want to go to, I think we need to go to 5 because that would be 4 letters, 4 times iterations.
Yeah.
So we need to go to 5.
Try that. Okay.
Let's see what we get now. That looks a bit better.
Yeah, it looks better.
So why are we getting like this stuff here? Shouldn't we only enter when we know that this is done? Like, sorry.
I guess it's happening because we are coming in for the p tag.
We're coming in for the p tag.
So we have a angle bracket here. So we say if string is a angle bracket. So we're coming in for here too.
So we're always looping every time it's that. So that's a little bit of an issue.
I guess so, but I think there's there's another issue in here, which is I have a feeling that this might be okay, the unknown 4, but we're forgetting to do something. You see how it keeps getting bigger and bigger?
We need closure. The scope, it's in the wrong scope.
It's in the wrong scope. Yes.
It's supposed to be unknown 4, not unknown.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You're right about that. I think also what we're forgetting to do though is we're forgetting to clear it.
Yeah. Okay, we can do that instead of change the scope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just set it back to after the loop is
After the loop,
completed,
unknown for is equal to empty string again.
empty string.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's
Inside this,
for loop,
inside
or
this,
it's
but
an if
outside
statement.
of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's try
Outside
that.
this. Yeah.
So now we're getting back to the empty string cases.
Wait, can we still console log unknown for after all this is done?
After all this is done.
Or
So
actually put it after this for loop finishes.
after this for loop. So before I clear it or after I clear it?
Before you clear it, not obviously, sorry, before you clear it. Of course, we don't want to see the empty.
Unknown for. Yeah.
We just need to see div, div, div.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
So we have
Well,
some
we're still getting
some P's in here, but that's okay
this
because
is a smaller bug, yeah.
yeah, that's actually I think okay because we are asking we're doing another check here, right?
Yeah,
so,
it's gonna break. Yeah.
So maybe we'll
Not
do
break.
we'll do a console.log. We'll say coming into the like
Yeah,
div
let's
fixer. See if we
This
get
is
that.
such a great bug test, by the way, by Natter, to see if it ever enters in, which is our first question that we had, right?
Yeah. So oh, we don't get it. So we're never going in there.
We're never going in.
So why is that? So so we're only coming in here if it's this string, right?
And if you console log unknown for here,
But it's weird because we get this string right here.
yeah, but it changes here.
But we're also clearing it, so it's never ever gonna enter here.
It's never going to enter because we do this. So we need to capture another variable.
Or what if we just move this at the end here?
What's the scope? Can you click here? Oh, you already did.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we just clear it at the end?
Yeah.
Because we still need to check it, right? We
This
still need
works.
to check it here. Yeah.
100%, 100%
Oh my
works.
goodness. Look at that, everyone.
100%
100%.
works.
The confidence. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the console logs for here. I'm going to see if we get into the fixer.
We are 100%.
Eli says 100%, which is very high. Look at that. Look at that. So he's confident. Okay, we come in there.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so,
we see it. We see
yeah,
it.
we see it. So let's just do this. So we're getting these as our fixed HTML, which is interesting.
Okay. Is that interesting? No, okay. No, I'm just kidding. It is. It is. It is.
Sad,
Okay,
but
so
interesting.
you know why? It's because I is just always the same. It never gets to change here.
Right here.
It only changes after this.
Yes.
So we need something else to iterate. We just need to say, no, we just need to add more stuff here. No, that doesn't work. We need to add character by character.
I guess here,
I don't want to say that.
No, here's the thing. Like I guess the other question is, if we look at our else case, if I ask you this else case, when is this else case running?
So it runs if it both reaches here. Yeah, that's the problem. It runs if it both reaches here and isn't this.
Mm-hmm.
We need it to always run on every I iteration.
Right, exactly. Which is why our strings are so small.
So that's why the strings are small, but that doesn't fix all the bugs.
True.
So first of all, we need to run else. We don't need this. We don't need any else.
Okay.
We need fixed HTML plus equals line. Just copy this.
Okay, I'll take this one and get rid of the else.
This needs to be, yeah, get rid of the else. This needs to be here.
Right here.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's going to add every time, regardless.
Okay.
It's not dependent on any if. And so what's not happening? All we need to do then is
Should I run this to see what we get?
Yeah, I think this might work, man. This will work.
Ooh.
It works.
Really
right?
close. Really close. Really close. Really close. So
we add this. Oh, I see. We need to return. We need to get out of it somehow.
I actually want to fix this for you because I think this is messing you up. So we're actually we want to do every other one, and if we're
Oh,
yeah, right. So we want the even numbered ones. Or sorry,
yes.
we want wait no,
No, you want the odd number ones.
but well, sorry. I should rephrase that question. Now I'm getting confused. So
Wait.
I see the confusion. We're checking on div counter. So every 2 div counters,
Oh, we're checking on div counter.
yeah, we're not checking on I.
Oh, we want it to be even.
Even
Yes.
div counters, yeah. So
Sorry. Yes.
oh, that's okay. That's
Sorry to the
okay.
audience that
No,
must have been
that's
absolutely struggling with these guys
oh,
are.
save this. Okay. I mean, look at that. That's not bad. That's really, really close. So, what's happening
What are we
here?
missing here?
What's happening here?
I actually can't see the full string, by the way, the strings because of the cameras.
Oh,
If you would put it lower on the
oh, I
terminal.
see. Sorry about that.
Or something. Entering it a bunch of times or something.
Can you see it now?
No, just like run it again without clearing the terminal. I'll be able to see.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Like that.
No, run it again.
Oh, you want to see one more
Without-
time? Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Now I can
Okay.
see.
Okay. I guess you have our faces in a different spot than I do.
Yeah, mine's on the top right by default, I think. Okay, so for the second case, this one, we're looking for just this. We have that, but
Can
we
you
also
circle it-
have an
Can you
extra.
circle it over here since I have it covered?
Oh yes, sorry.
You can actually
we
click
have
and
an
drag your little
extra-
the faces, by the way.
It's okay. I can see this enough to make this. Okay. So we have an extra one of these here. That's the problem.
Mhm.
And that is happening simply because this is always
Running.
adding.
Yes,
on I.
correct.
So we need to make sure that if we enter into this
Mhm.
and this line of code runs, line 46,
Exactly.
that it gets out of this, but not this.
Exactly.
Which is a bit of an
You
issue.
you said it exactly correct.
Yeah.
That's 100%
Yeah.
correct. So how do we do that? We're in the home stretch
We
here.
need this to not happen
Yeah.
if this. So and we need this to happen.
There we go, everyone. That's the solution right there. So
All right. So maybe Nader can help me out here because I'm getting a bit exhausted.
No, that's all right. It's almost an hour and a half, by the way. So you've done. Honestly, I didn't expect you to actually get this far. So I'm proud of you.
Okay.
I really am, and I hope that everyone's clapping for you. Hopefully, when they're sitting here watching this. But let's do this. We can do this a couple ways. We can create a variable to keep track if we did something in here or not. But we'll just go with a simpler solution, I guess, which is if we come in here, then we want to do this. We also want to do this, which is what you mentioned.
Yeah, so let's put that in there.
But then we don't want to continue in the rest of the loop. So we're just going to, oh my goodness gracious.
We want to exit out of the loop. Yeah.
Continue.
So break.
Not break. We want to continue. We want to go to the next iteration.
That's the keyword in this. That was my, I couldn't remember the keyword in JavaScript. In Python, it's break, right?
Break is actually the same thing, but in Python and JavaScript. It's break would just quit the loop right there.
Oh, okay, but we need to finish the loop. Okay, so continue on, finish this loop iteration.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Look at that, everyone. Isn't that quite impressive? Like I'm very happy with that. So I have to say to kind of wrap this up, just so many thoughts and feelings I want to share with you. I hope you're not too exhausted. His brain is probably melting now. But
I wasn't prepared for this interview today, so
you did fantastic. Honestly, like that, I did not expect you to actually finish this question. I only expected us to get about partway through and then kind of just talk about it a little bit and kind of finish the stream. So the fact that you actually went through this entire process, I think, is very helpful also for everyone watching, just to see a very complex question. This is not a trivial question.
It seems really easy.
It seems easy, but there's a lot going on, a lot of edge cases. It's quite a bit of code, as you can see, right? In fact, this kind of question is very similar to something you might pop up in a real, probably in actually higher level interview. I think in a junior or intermediate interview, this might be quite tricky for sure. It would take some time. It might take a whole hour, right? Which is what it did for us. But
if they're not helping,
but
you helped quite a bit, yeah.
I guess so. But also at the same time, it's your process is what really matters. I know I keep hammering on that, but like if you saw how even though I helped, Eli's process for kind of approaching this problem step by step, where the loops are, where the checks are, he even reiterated in English for himself and for me, what he wants to accomplish at different steps of the way, that was so critical. I think a lot of the time, what ends up happening is you have a problem and you have this tendency and itch just to start coding and just kind of not articulate your thoughts and your kind of your process, what's going in your mind. Sometimes we forget that the person on the other side of the screen or the table or whatever it is can't read our mind, right? And also, how can I help if I don't know kind of what you're thinking and what you're where you're trying to get to, right? There's so many possible solutions to this and ways that we could have gone that I had a very comfortable understanding of where you're at during the entire interview process, which was very helpful for me as an interviewer and also gave me more confidence to help you out and that you actually knew kind of what you were doing, even if it was maybe potentially in another direction. So that was really, really well done. So articulating kind of your thoughts, articulating technically what's happening, stepping through line by line, not getting frustrated as well was really great. And not just assuming that things are going to work. I like it how you kind of assumed the worst, that you were confident, but that was good. It was a bit different, but you're confident, and I like that, right? You didn't kind of give up or lose steam. I know you're mentally drained now, but I think that was a really, really great interview. So I think just to sum all this up for everyone and also for you, Eli, like that the overall interview was fantastic. Like it was actually really, really well done. Like we had one before this where we kind of practiced a little bit, and because I messed up this stream, so you're definitely improving as we do more of these. But so maybe I guess for everyone watching, this is Eli's like second one, for example, with me, right? Or like second and a half, I guess. So we did like a mini trial run.
Test the stream, man.
Yeah, and it's very amazing how quickly you're improving. Everything from just the way that you're structuring your thoughts and kind of your answers and how you articulate yourself from the non-technical questions at the beginning, all the way through to the really technical ones where we're coding them out together was really, really well done. And quite frankly, I think if anyone was to go through their thought process like this and technical process like this when coding out problems, now you can hopefully see it's not about the answer all the time. It's very clear that your approach to solving problems, your ability to collaborate and kind of go back and forth and have a dialogue with someone is just so key to programming and working on teams. So I'm very proud of you. I think you did a fantastic job, and I hope everyone can give you a little clap behind their computers while they're watching you or wherever they're watching you. I'd love to do this again sometime, and if anyone watching this would like some practice and is comfortable potentially even broadcasting like this, that'd be a lot of fun and it's a good experience, or on the Discord or wherever we end up doing it. But this is really what it takes to eventually get a position in the field. Right? If you end up doing this process for the very, very first time in a live interview, like where it's a real position that you really want, it's usually not going to go well, right? Because as they say, like the saying is, practice really makes perfect. And the people who kind of get into the top tech companies, people who get into a lot of these higher positions, sometimes they're not even the kind of the best or the smartest. They just practice with the interview process a lot. They practice questions. They practice these types of things. They ask other people to watch them, and exactly what we're doing together. And eventually, it comes across that confidence is just so huge. I can't even explain.
I would like to add.
Yeah, go for it.
I'd like to add one thing to this. Like, if you expect to kind of be able to solve problems like this, like in an interview kind of format, it's going to be, it's in my opinion, you're going to have to have solved like problems that are quite a bit harder so that you have the confidence, because to be able to solve something like this, because like if this is the hardest problem you've ever seen and you're trying to solve it for the first time in front of people, it's going to be the odds are stacked way against you. It's like, so you do need to, like, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say, I guess.
No, that's good. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
That's why I had the. I want to say that's why I had the confidence, because I've solved problems quite a bit harder than this, and I know that I could solve it. And I know there's something there. If I just see a couple things, if Natter just kind of like helps me a little bit, I'll be able to kind of work through it a little bit, So yeah, I kind of knew that I would be able to do most of it myself.
Exactly, because the opposite of that is you see the problem and your alarm bells in your head go off. You're like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this. But how is this even physically possible? I can't even begin to picture this, right? So exactly. It just takes practice building projects and trying some harder problems. And that's the purpose of this channel and us doing this together. And I think everyone can get there eventually. It just takes practice and people to reach out to for help when you get stuck, and just practice, and it makes perfect. So thank you, Eli. That was a joy. It was really, really fun. I hope this turns out okay. I can't wait to share it with you after this stream ends, and for everyone to actually watch this. But honestly, like, you did a fantastic job. And I think if anyone was to watch this and you were to apply for positions, for example, in the future, and they just saw this process, now, I really mean it. I know you're laughing, but I really
Okay,
mean
well,
it. Like,
okay, all right.
it's a big testament to your abilities, right? Even if you're not solving, the craziest questions in the world, just this process that we've been going through together. This is something
The potential.
this is something that usually would take 1 or 2 interviews just to even figure out kind of your personality, your approach to problems, the way that you think about things, the way that you communicate and technically communicate, right? These are all things that you've demonstrated really clearly, right? And it's really good.
Thanks. Okay. Anyways,
So
all right.
let's end it there. And if you liked this, please let us know in the comments. If you have any things you want to say to Eli, please ream them out as much as you can.
Please roast me in the comments,
Please
guys.
roast them.
Completely roast me. I'm totally cool with it. It's all good.
Please do, and join us on the Discord if you want to come there and real time roast him as well. I'm sure he'd appreciate that as well. Dump all the memes and emojis at him. But again, thank you so much, Eli, and I'll stop the stream and I'll see you all later.
Right. Thank you.